Picture this. You're 10 years old, lying in bed, and you know there's something lurking underneath. Your parents roll their eyes, pat your head, and tell you monsters don't exist. But what if they're wrong? What if the only way to deal with your nightmare is to hire a professional killer? Welcome to the wonderfully twisted world of Bryan Fuller's Dust Bunny, where childhood fears meet hitman hijinks in the most delightfully unhinged way possible. Now, if you know Bryan Fuller from his TV masterpieces like Hannibal and Pushing Daisies, you already know this guy creates shows that are, let's say, a little too demanding and peculiar for mainstream audiences. His work is artistically up its own bum in the absolute best way possible, crafting visual feasts that are equal parts beautiful and bizarre. So when Fuller finally stepped behind the camera for his feature film debut, expectations were sky high. The question was, could he translate his small screen magic to the big screen without losing that signature weirdness we all adore? Dust Bunny drops us into a half-storybook, half-nightmare version of New York, where 10-year-old Aurora is absolutely convinced there's a monster under her bed. Not just any monster, mind you, but something genuinely terrifying that her parents dismiss as childhood imagination. Meanwhile, she's become obsessed with spying on her mysterious neighbor in apartment 5B, played by the always captivating Mads Mikkelsen. This guy's got secrets, and Aurora's determined to figure out what he's up to with all those late-night comings and goings. Here's where things get wonderfully bonkers. Aurora decides the best solution to her monster problem is to rob a church and hire this suspicious neighbor, who she correctly suspects is a hitman, to eliminate whatever's lurking beneath her bed. It's like Home Alone meets Leon the Professional, with a healthy dose of Guillermo del Toro thrown in for good measure. The premise alone should tell you this isn't your typical family-friendly monster movie, despite having a kid as the protagonist. Now let's be real for a hot minute. The first third of this movie stumbles a bit. Fuller seems to be figuring out the difference between television pacing and film rhythm, and it shows. The opening feels derivative, hitting familiar beats we've seen in countless other films. The CGI looks janky in places, especially during the creature's birth sequence, which can't decide if it wants to be realistic or cartoonish and ends up awkwardly straddled between both. Some of the New York nighttime scenes have that rushed, superhero blockbuster look, where human performers don't quite blend with the digital backgrounds. It's the kind of technical hiccup that makes you wince and wonder if Fuller bit off more than he could chew. But here's where the magic happens. Once the story settles into the apartment building, everything clicks into place like puzzle pieces finding their perfect fit. Fuller taps into his deep love for those disreputable but enthusiastic genre films from the 80s and 90s. Movies like Gremlins, Fright Night, Tremors, and House. These were films that looked like goofy grindhouse time wasters in TV commercials, but had solid acting, clever writing, and managed to stretch their meager budgets with absolute panache. They could be playful even when characters were being incinerated, dismembered, or devoured, and Fuller captures that exact same energy. The relationship between Aurora and Mikkelsen's character becomes the beating heart of the film. She's suspicious of all adults, having learned the hard way that grown-ups don't listen to kids about important things like monsters. He's a seasoned professional with no time to be distracted by a child's imagination. It's a formula that could have gone horribly wrong, but instead creates some of the most irresistibly charming moments without ever becoming sentimental or cheesy. Their comedic timing is spot on, especially in scenes where Aurora pitches her monster-killing business proposal with the seriousness of a corporate executive. And then there's the creature itself. Oh my goodness, the Dust Bunny. When you finally get a good look at this thing, it's simultaneously hilarious and absolutely unnerving. Imagine if Jim Henson's demented uncle designed a Muppet specifically for hell, and you're getting close to the vibe. It's the kind of creature design that makes you laugh and shudder at the same time, which is exactly the sweet spot Fuller was aiming for. The final battle sequence is where Fuller really shows off his directorial chops. It's brilliantly staged and edited, paying homage to beloved Man vs. Beast films, 90s acrobatic action comedies, and supernatural thrillers all at once. The creature effects, which were doled out sparingly throughout the film, finally get their moment to shine in all their grotesque glory.
It's the kind of climax that makes you forget about those early technical stumbles because you're too busy having an absolute blast. What makes Dust Bunny work despite its flaws is Fuller's unwavering commitment to his vision. This is a movie that knows exactly what it wants to be, a stylish, confident genre exercise that doesn't apologize for its weirdness. It's got that wonderful mix of horrible and terrifying and amusing and droll that makes Fuller's work so distinctive. The film suggests that maybe, just maybe, Fuller was meant for feature films all along, where ideas have to be contained within commercially approved running times and budgets, leading to a compact sharpness that's perfect for metaphors, visual symbols, and dream logic. The closing shot alone is worth the price of admission. It's one of those perfect endings that ties everything together while leaving you with just enough questions to keep thinking about the film long after the credits roll. Fuller manages to stick the landing in a way that makes you immediately want to see what he does next. Look, Dust Bunny isn't a perfect film, and it's definitely not a classic, but it's good enough to make you believe that Fuller has a classic in him, waiting to emerge in some future project. It's a stylish and competent debut that proves television auteurs can successfully make the jump to features when they stay true to their unique vision. For a movie about a little girl, a hitman, and a monster under the bed, it's surprisingly sophisticated in its understanding of genre conventions and how to subvert them. So, should you watch Dust Bunny? Absolutely! It's the kind of film that reminds you why we fell in love with movies in the first place. The pure joy of watching someone with a twisted imagination bring their wildest ideas to life on screen. Just remember, after watching this, you might never look under your bed this same way again. And honestly, that's exactly what Bryan Fuller was hoping for.